Hello and welcome to Verbling. I am Teacher Oakley, and today we are going to continue similar class to yesterday at this time slot. We will continue learning vocabulary related to personality. We will do that through a mix of fill in the blank and mix and match exercises, as well as some conversation along the way as we go along to learn more. Specifically today, we're really focused on adjectives, which are used to describe character traits, personality, qualities of human beings. Okay, we start out by welcoming students to the class. Hello, Cristiano.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm okay, thank you.
Okay, welcome to the class. Hello, Jorge Luis. Good to see you again. Hi there.
Yeah, hello, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Nice to see you again.
Yeah, nice to see you.
Thank you. I'd like to welcome Keiko. Hey, Keiko, always a pleasure.
Hey teacher, nice to see you.
Likewise. And hello to Zach. Hi, Zach. Good to see you again.
Hi, teacher. Hi to see you as well.
Cool. Okay, plenty of material, so I'm just going to jump right in. Any other Verbling viewers out there who'd like to join the class, come on in anytime. Don't worry about it. Plenty of room in the class. Come join us. Okay, I'm going to get started here. I'm going to do a screen share. And we're going to look at some pairs of words and do a little fill-in-the-blank exercise here. Well, we'll discuss these pairs as we go along. Here we go. Okay, that was a silly thing to do. You're going to use these pairs of adjectives to fill in the blanks in the sentence. As you can see, the blanks have a slash through them. So the idea is either of these adjectives would actually fit in the blank. There may be a slight difference in meaning. We'll talk about that as we go along. Before we start the exercise, let me welcome Napo or Napo? Napo? Is it Napo or Napo? Not sure. New student just joined the class. Napo, can you hear me? Hello, hello? Napo? No? Okay, Napo or Napo, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. You might need to check your settings to make sure that you're actually using the microphone that appears in your settings, and maybe it's your connection, I don't know. In that case, sometimes leaving the Hangout, coming back will help. You don't appear to be muted, but I cannot hear you at this time. So try to fix that. Give me a shout out when you got it fixed. Just say hello, teacher, so I know that we can interact. Also, let me welcome Min.
Hello, teacher.
Hey, how have you been?
Yeah.
Okay. And Sawa. Hi, Sawa. How are you today?
Hi, Clay. Fine.
Hi.
And you?
I'm good. Thank you very much. Okay, again, pairs of adjectives, fill in the blank. This is in the form of a dialogue. So two people speaking, one person speaking, and another person replying. Let's do this. Starting out with Cristiano. Cristiano, I locked my keys in the house this morning.
That was very careless thing to do.
Careless or silly thing to do.
Or silly.
Or silly. Now, in this sentence, Either of these adjectives would fit just fine, no problem. But in other cases, Cristiano, there might be a difference in these words, careless and silly. What do you think is the difference, for example, maybe with silly?
Silly is when you want to do something, or?
Well, again, in the sentence, they can be synonymous. They can be interchangeable.
Okay.
Thoughtless, careless. Careless is without thinking about the repercussions. Silly, however, can also mean to act childlike, maybe funny, goofy, put on a silly hat and dance around the room. Okay, that's not careless. All right, so it has another meaning. That's my point. Okay, silly can mean okay, not using your common sense. It can also mean kind of funny in a childlike, goofy way. Okay, so like that. So I want to also look at how they're the same and how they're different as we go along. Okay, before we proceed, let me quickly do a quick check with Napo. Hello, are you?
Hey.
There you go. Okay.
Hello.
Terrific.
Hello.
Great. How do I pronounce your name? Is your name Napo or Napo?
Napo.
Or something else?
Leon.
Napo. Oh, okay. Great. Thank you, Napo. I'll talk to you in a little while. Jorge Luis, number 2. I gave my neighbor's little boy some money for his holidays, and his parents took it from him. Oh my God! Wow.
Really? What? Can you please show
Yeah.
the options again? Maybe what an strange.
Well, yeah, actually.
Yeah, for me, it's pretty weird.
Okay. For me too, actually. You are not wrong there. I think it's also very strange. But there's another pair that might also fit, I think.
Maybe it's horrible. Or maybe, oh well, let me check again. I gave my neighbors a little boy some money for his holiday. Well, but
Yeah.
it's horrible also,
Well,
I think.
yeah, it's also horrible and kind of nasty. All right. Yeah. It's also definitely strange and funny. Funny, weird. Okay.
First thing that I will say, what the hell?
Yeah, that's what I would say too. What's the difference between horrible and nasty? Now, they can be just describing something really bad, and they can be synonymous. But nasty has another meaning. Do you know it?
Maybe it's something too disgusting.
Maybe. And maybe something that has to do with sexual matters. Okay? All right. Nasty pornography. Okay? Nasty has a connotation of having to do with sexual things sometimes, too. It can be used, like horrible, more neutrally, but it can also be used in that way. All right, moving on. So be aware of that. Number 3, Keiko, I'm thinking of getting myself a private pension. Right?
I'm thinking of getting myself a private pension. Good idea. That's a very blank thing to do. Please scroll down, teacher. Thank you. Wise, sensible.
Okay, very good. Either one would fit in the sentence, again. But what's the difference, Keiko? They can be synonymous, but they can have slight differences in meaning. What might be a difference between wise and sensible? Do you know?
Wise is something made by a sage person, a sage, a person.
Yeah, well, actually, wise and sage. Sage can be a noun, a person, or sage can be an adjective. Sage advice, for example.
Yeah,
Yeah.
by a sage.
Yeah.
Sensible is the same as sage in the meaning of a person who has good judgment about things.
Well, yeah,
or
that's
acts.
okay. I like your definition of sensible. Somebody who has good judgment, uses common sense, is very logical in their thinking. I agree with that. Wise, to clarify a little more, has a connotation in English. Wisdom is gained through experience. So it would be kind of ridiculous to say a wise 8-year-old. It doesn't really make sense. You can say a really smart 8-year-old, a sensible 8-year-old, but there is an additional connotation and idea that wisdom, or sage, the other synonym you used, sage and wise are very close because they both have that idea of experience.
Teacher,
yeah.
What word did you say? Agral.
Not sure.
What word did you say? For wise, good, agral.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Sorry. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Yes.
Can you please write in the chat the sage? How do you write that? Sage?
Yeah, I did. I wrote it in the Verbling chat box, actually. Way ahead of you. If you want to click on the little Verbling icon on the left-hand side, you can see the Verbling chat box. I have to use that because, you know, I work for Verbling. More or less required. Okay. So, yeah, there you go. I gave a collocation. Sage advice is a common expression, 2 words to go together. They go together. Okay, let's look at one more of these. They've been married for 25 years, and then one day she just walked out and never came back. Went out for a pack of cigarettes and never came back. Zach, number 4.
Okay. They have been married for 25 years, and then one day she just walked out and never came back. Sorry, really, what could I see the...
Yeah, of course.
Horrible.
Okay. All right. Well, notice in the earlier previous answer we had a hard time figuring out if it was strange and funny or horrible and nasty. Okay, well, here we go. We could probably use either pair for number 4 or number 2. Depends how horrible. Which is more horrible, to steal a little child's money, to steal your own child's money, or to walk out on your marriage? I don't know. They're both strange. They're both horrible. I don't know. That's opinion. But let's just say, for sake of argument, because we haven't looked at it, and also my clue here, well, they both say really. They're both shocked. Let's just say it's strange and funny. Okay. Now, strange and funny can be synonyms. What's that strange smell coming from the kitchen? What's that funny smell coming from the kitchen? All right. Something, strange or funny. Funny also has another meaning, of course. Zach, what is the other meaning of funny?
Funny could be strange to could be a thing that it's so weird that you laugh about you.
Well, okay, not weird, strange, funny, but there's a totally separate meaning of funny. Totally separate. If I tell you a joke and you laugh, it doesn't have to be a weird or strange joke. Or if your best friend walks into a pool while he's walking down the street, you might laugh at him. It's funny. You idiot. Okay, doesn't mean that it's strange necessarily. All right. This can even confuse native speakers. An expression, I don't know what to call it, an expression, something we say sometimes. Sometimes native speakers are confused which meaning a speaker is using. So you might say, well, that was funny, and I might reply, funny, or funny, haha. Funny, haha, or funny, like strange, or funny, ha ha. Sometimes native speakers even have to ask that question in order to clarify. It's not always clear. It's usually clear, but not always. Okay. We are now going to do a little mix and match, beginning and ending of sentences. Here's the beginning, and then we'll scroll down and see if you can figure out the ending. The beginning of the sentence uses an adjective to describe personality, and the end describes an action, which may reflect that adjective meaning. Okay, let's try this one out. Napo, number 1, go ahead and read it.
Yes. It was a bit cheeky of you.
Yeah, it was a bit cheeky of you. How could we finish the sentence?
One moment. What is the significant cheeky?
Ah, okay. Well, that would help. See, we can't possibly do the exercise unless we know the adjective. Okay. Cheeky. Does anybody else in the class know what cheeky means? British love this expression, by the way. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's when you do something how can I say that? Impudent or in an irreverent way?
In an irreverent way. That's pretty good. Yeah. Maybe slightly disrespectful, a little bold. A lot of times you do something cheeky, it's meant to be sarcastic or funny, but not necessarily. It's a little disrespectful, perhaps. Disrespectful of authority, for example. Okay. Napo, does that help you? It was a little cheeky of you to do what?
Okay. No. Option E.
No, I'm not gonna mind, Napo, if we go out and you want to pay for all the drinks. I don't think that's cheeky at all. Go right along with that. Not a problem. No, actually, I think probably the best answer is to ask the teacher how old she is. Now, for 2 reasons. One, it's a teacher, and you're being disrespectful of authority. That's kind of cheeky. Okay? And the second reason is basically, you don't ask women, at least in English-speaking culture, you don't ask women how old they are. That's kind of bold.
In any language, teacher.
Yeah, in any language. Napo, do you ask women how old they are?
Excuse me?
Do you ever ask women how old they are?
Yes.
You do? You're one cheeky mate. You're awfully cheeky. Okay.
Okay.
Napo, now you know cheeky. You're cheeky. Okay, you're pretty bold if you want to go ahead and ask women how old they are. I don't dare to do that. Okay. All right. Okay, let's look at number 2. Well, okay, we'll talk about it more as we go along. Min, number 2.
Yes, it's very brave of you
Okay.
to go to India on your own.
Okay. You know, Min, the last one would work too. I think it's very brave of Napo to ask the teacher how old she is. You might have to be brave to be cheeky.
Yeah.
As well, but okay, this is pretty straightforward, right? Going to India on your own, okay, obviously that you can't be a complete
Maybe
coward.
Woman.
Yeah. Okay. What's the opposite of bravery, by the way? Do you know, Min?
Bravery is the same meaning with the bold.
It's very close to bold. What's the opposite meaning?
Yes, frightened.
Maybe bravery is the noun, and the noun form is cowardice. Cowardice. If you're brave, you know, you will do things that are scary. If you're a coward, you will not. Okay, Salwa, number 3.
It was very generous of you to finish this crossword so quickly.
Well, I don't think so. No, you're generous. You do things for other people. You can be generous with your money. You could be generous with your time.
To pay for all the tricks.
Yeah, okay, generous with your money. All right. Yes, that's very generous to pay for everyone else. That's very direct, very obvious way to be generous. But you can also be generous with your time. Spend a lot of time with somebody to help them. You can help other people without being asked. That's also being generous. Okay. What's the opposite of generous?
It's generous, the same meaning as smart, or the different?
No, not at all. Generous means you're giving. You give people things. And you give them things, or you do things for them without being asked. Okay. The opposite. I never spend money. I never do anything for anyone else but myself would be selfish. So it's the opposite of selfish. So, okay? All right. Moving on. Cristiano, back to you.
Yeah. It was very clever of you to finish this crossword so quickly.
Yeah, indeed. Are you good at crossword puzzles, Cristiano?
I think so.
Oh, you are? Well, aren't you
Yeah.
clever? Okay. Notice my phrase, well, aren't you clever? Sometimes when somebody does something very smart, very intelligent, we in English, this is a common phrase. Well, aren't you clever? Oh my goodness. Okay. Now, there's a lot of opposite words for clever, of course. Yeah.
Opposite.
Do you know any?
Idiot, jackass.
Yeah, that's right. Lots of words in English to talk about the opposite of clever. If you're going to give clever as an adjective, maybe as an adjective, clever, idiotic. Idiotic.
Yeah.
Okay. Stupid, idiotic, moronic.
Yeah, it's stupid sounds better. Stupid.
Well, any of them will work. Imbecilic. I mean, there's tons. There's literally probably 100 words for stupid in English. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, moving on. Jorge Luis, number 5.
It was a bit dishonest of you. Not to tell them they'd given you too much chance.
Yeah. Okay. Has that ever happened to you?
No, not really.
Oh, come on. Really?
Here in Colombia, people is so aware that the money, they always give the correct chance.
Okay. People are, not people is. Okay. People are so aware. People is plural, so we need are. Yeah, okay.
People are.
All right. Well, okay. It will happen to you sooner or later, Jorge, believe me.
I will be aware.
Well, you will be honest. Great. There you go. I was about to ask what's the opposite word, and there you go. You just said it. Obviously, the opposite of honest is dishonest. Sometimes.
But you know what?
What?
It happened to me the reverse situation. I mean, I got less chance.
Yeah, there's a word for that. You were shortchanged. Okay? You were shortchanged. There's actually a word for that. It's a compound. Compound verb, I guess. Yeah. Okay, I was just going to say, sometimes with adjectives, especially abstract adjectives that describe people, many adjectives have an antonym or opposite meaning that we can form simply by adding a prefix to, like honest. We add dis, dishonest. Okay. Sometimes not. Some of the other, we've already looked at several, actually, that didn't have a very simple prefix antonym. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Wise, unwise. Okay. Well, many of these don't, but actually. Okay, we are going to move on to another exercise. Aren't you a bit selfish? We're another fill-in-the-blank exercise with dialogue, someone speaking, someone answering. We will use these words to fill in the blanks. Okay. Starting out with number 1. Keiko. I know, number 1. Keiko, I know I'm going to get this job. The interview went so well.
I know I'm going to get this job. The interview went so well. I think you are being a bit optimistic.
You think so? You think so? That might be my reply to that reply. Okay, good one. Good job. I think you're being a bit optimistic. Okay. Keiko, are you an optimist?
I think I am a realistic teacher.
A realist.
Yeah, I want to see a series of components of the reality.
Okay. Optimist, okay, the classic example. Well, I have to do this. I just feel like I have to give you the visual. Okay, Keiko, is my glass half full or half empty?
Half full.
Okay.
Half full.
All right.
More than half full.
Yeah, it is slightly more than half full. I was gonna drink some more, but then I'll have to go to the bathroom.
A bit empty.
A bit empty. All right. Classic expression. An optimist says that the glass is half full. A pessimist, which is the opposite, says the glass is half empty. An optimist feels this is the best of all possible worlds. A pessimist is afraid this is the best of all possible worlds. Okay, well, there you go. Keiko, I'm optimistic about myself, but pessimistic about everyone else. Okay, moving on. Oh yeah, there was more detail here, okay, to help you out, but you didn't even need it. You had it fine. Moving on. Okay, Zach. I'm trying to persuade Liz to give up her job and come live with me in Scotland.
Otley, I was have a problem with my Hangout.
Okay.
I am seeing the participant in the chat at the right, but the text aren't shown in
It isn't?
the central frame. I will need to. I will try to refresh. Yes. Okay. I got. Okay.
Okay. Glad you worked that out, Zach. Okay. One more.
It's working now.
Okay. One more time. Number 2. It's okay. Technology happens, as we say. Okay. All right. Number 2. Pardon me. I'm trying to persuade Liz to give up her job and come and live with me in Scotland. Okay. You might answer?
Aren't you being a bit
It what?
selfish?
I had a couple of answers here. Yeah, I'm not. I can't remember. It could be selfish. Yes, selfish definitely fits here. Absolutely. I'm not sure because there's 2 answers that fit quite well. You might also say pushy. Probably you're right, selfish. Okay, just thinking about himself. He's obviously being selfish, which we already talked about. Perhaps pushy. If you're trying to get your own way, you're trying to be bossy, you're trying to push people, well, push people into doing what you want to be done. You can be pushy. So I don't know. Either one might actually fit there. Probably you're right, though, selfish. Okay. Moving on. Napo.
Yes,
3.
I am here.
Great. Number 3.
I have looked at 15 flats and I haven't seen one I really like. Don't you think you are being a bit
Something. Okay, and then the next line, you'll never find one that's perfect, is important here. Okay. Any ideas?
one moment.
Okay.
Pessimistic.
No.
No.
Okay, well, the key is, well, if, maybe you're pessimistic because you say, well, since he hasn't seen one he likes, did to say, I will never find one I like. That would be pessimistic.
Okay.
Doesn't quite fit. And there, again, the key for sentence here is you'll never find one that's perfect. Okay, so not pessimistic. Doesn't quite fit.
Intolerant.
No. Intolerant means you don't accept other people's feelings or opinions or culture or whatever. No. I got to give it to you here. The answer is fussy.
Fussy.
Yeah. Okay.
Please, do you give me one example, please?
Certainly. English speakers often use this word fussy to talk about eating habits, especially for children. Children that will never eat vegetables. They only eat a few specific foods. Oh, the kid's so fussy, he won't eat anything. Or someone's a very fussy eater. They want specific things, they want what they want, and they won't accept anything else. Okay?
Okay.
So it's often used for eating. But in this case, this is a pretty good example here in the book. All right, he won't move into a flat or apartment unless it's perfectly exactly what he wants. He's being too fussy.
Oh.
Okay. Somebody who won't accept, not necessarily the idea of perfect, but they won't accept exactly what they want, exactly the way they want it. They're being fussy.
Oh.
I should mention that we also in English, when a kid is, at least American English, I'm really not sure about British, honestly, but Americans, it's very common to say that your child is being fussy when they're really tired and they're whining and crying and not behaving. They're misbehaving because they're tired and hungry, or both. Tired or hungry, or both tired and hungry, and they're just being little brats. They're being fussy.
Okay. Well, for example, the boy is fussy because he don't you toys.
Well, okay. Well, again, there's two separate meanings. One of the kid is just being fussy. He's not behaving. He's crying. He's whining, or so maybe that one. But the second one, Napo, would be if he only wants one toy. It's his birthday, and you give him a toy truck, but he doesn't want that. He wants to play with Legos. He just throws the truck. You try to give him some crayons, and he doesn't want that. He throws the crayons. He only wants the Legos. You try to give him a paint set, and he throws that away. You try to give him a book. He throws that away. He only wants the Legos. He won't accept anything else. That's the idea. Okay?
Okay.
Sure. Okay. Moving on. Min. Number 4.
Yes.
Why
haven't they phoned me back? I know I'm not going to get this job.
Well, okay.
Aren't you being a bit pessimistic?
Yeah, basically the opposite of number 1 here.
Yeah.
Yeah, optimist, pessimist is the noun. The adjectives, optimistic, pessimistic. Another point to make here, whenever you see this ick ending, it's an adjective, always. Okay, so these are adjective versions, pessimist, optimist. These are nouns, but yeah, this is the opposite of number one. You only had one interview and you're sure you're not going to get a job. Okay, well, that's very pessimistic. Okay. How about you, Min? Are you an optimist or a pessimist?
I optimistic.
Optimist.
Optimist.
I am an optimist. Believe it or not, it's a countable noun, so you have to use a or an. I am an optimist. You can have 3 optimists and 1 pessimist in the room. It's possible to count it. Okay, moving on. Salwa. Salwa, do you think Anne will come on holiday with me?
So Darwin, you have only just met her, and aren't you being a bit? Can you scroll up?
Mm-hmm.
A bit pushy.
There you go. Trying to, again, push. Pussy. Trying to push somebody into doing what you want them to do, or sometimes, you know, you've only just met her. You're pushy if you're trying to make things happen faster, like a relationship, like a romantic relationship. You're being pushy, needy, maybe. Yeah, it also has to do with that element of trying to make things happen faster, not naturally. Okay. Pushy people. Okay, there's another word. So pushy people tend to be manipulative. Do you know that word?
Manipulative.
Yeah.
Yes, when you cheating or
Well, kind of.
kind of.
Yeah, well, it's kind of dishonest. Yeah, you try to, you're pushy, but you do it in a sneaky way. You maybe you tell lies, or you withhold information. You don't tell somebody something because you want them to do something. So they're very similar ideas, manipulative and pushy.
Okay.
Okay. Manipulative is more sneaky, backhanded, lies, or involving lies, or withholding information. Okay, Cristiano, back to you. Number 6. I hope.
Yeah. I hope Bob doesn't become manager. I don't like his accent. Let me see. Don't you think you are being a bit intolerant? You
Yeah.
can't dislike him just because of the way he speaks.
Okay.
Intolerant.
That's intolerance. It's a good example. You don't like somebody because of their accent, because of the color of their skin, or their eyes, or where they're from, or their religion, or their sexual orientation, or and so on, so on, so on. That's called intolerance. You don't even know them. You make assumptions about them based on these things. That's called intolerance. Okay. All right. Oh, this is all right. We're going to do a challenging exercise now. I'm going to challenge you guys a little bit. Okay. Well, maybe not. What you're going to do is you're going to complete the sentence with a noun form of the adjective. As the lesson has been progressing, I've kind of been mentioning noun forms and adjective forms. Okay? So simply, you're going to read the sentence, and you're going to, at the end of the sentence is an adjective in parentheses. You're going to fill in the blank with the noun form of this adjective below. Okay, Jorge Luis, number 1.
Yes. thousands would have died in last years. Uh, fa how can I pronounce that? Famine?
Famine. Famine.
Famine.
That's it. Good.
Famine. Last year's famine in Ethiopia. Is that correct? Ethiopia?
I don't know, really. Okay. No, it's funny you ask. Well, English speakers, at least Americans, say Ethiopia. But I had a student from Ethiopia the other day, and he pronounced it nothing at all like the English pronunciation, quite honestly. We couldn't. It took us like 5 minutes to figure out what we were saying. He couldn't understand me. I couldn't understand him. So they say it completely different. But English speakers say Ethiopia.
Okay, right. Ethiopia.
Okay.
If it wasn't for the entity of ordinary people. So, what is the name for that adjective? Generous?
No. This is an adjective, generous. He's a generous man. So what is the noun form? Any idea?
Anybody else?
Anybody else know? Okay.
Could be generosity.
It could be.
The generosity?
Generosity. For the generosity. Notice, okay, it's preceded with an article. Has to be a noun. Really has. You have no choice after an article. All right. The generosity of ordinary people. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Kiko, number 2.
They've always shown me great kindness.
Kindness. Yes. Okay. Definitely kindness. Okay. Good job. Pretty straightforward. Number 3, Zach.
The treaters sent me tickets for the wrong day again. I can't believe they're careless. Careless.
Close. Not quite. Anybody else in class? Now the noun form
Carelessness.
of careless.
Carelessness.
Ness.
Yeah.
Yep. Ness again. Like kindness, carelessness. If as your English improves, Zach, everybody else, you're going to notice consistent word endings like ness, N-E-S-S. You're going to notice that, you'll come across words you don't know, but you'll notice the suffix or standardized endings. You'll start to know that if something ends with N-E-S-S, it's a noun. If something ends with I-C, for example, in our next exercise, it's an adjective. You'll start to recognize the patterns. Some are only used for adjectives, some are used for both adjectives and nouns, some are used for adjectives and verbs, but they're consistent. There's no suffix that's used for nouns, adjectives, adverbs, and verbs. That doesn't exist. Okay, there are patterns to them. Anyway, moving on. Number 4, Napo. Napo, are you there?
I am here, teacher.
Super duper. Number 4, please.
Considering how will I have been, I thought my boss will show a bit more sympathetic.
Okay, No, that's not quite it. What's the noun form of sympathetic? No? No idea?
Sympathicness.
Yeah. Okay. Totally, this is absolutely not a rule. Total generalization, and okay. Generally, the noun or verb form is more simple than the adjective or adverb form. Not always, not a rule, just a general guideline. The noun's a little more simple. Does anybody know the noun form of sympathetic? Anybody else in class? Yeah, there it is. Sawa's got it. Sympathy. Thank you. That's it. Thank you, Sawa. Sympathy. Okay. A bit more sympathy. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes? Question? No?
Sí. Yes. Do you write in the square?
I didn't, but Sawa did. I let her have the glory. Oh, that's not quite right, is it? Or is it? No, that's right. Yeah, that's right. No, it's absolutely right. She's got it right. Spelling's right. Correct. Sympathy. Does anybody know the difference? Since we're coming across the word sympathy, does anybody know the difference between the word sympathy and empathy? Aha. Yeah, that's a tricky one. Keiko, yeah?
Sympathy is a feeling of sorrow before a situation, like when you feel sorry to do something to someone, you say you are sympathetic. Empathy.
Okay.
Empathy is to put yourself in the place of someone else.
Okay.
Like to share with them the same sentiment, the same feeling.
Well, okay. Sympathy, just to clarify, you said because you did something to someone, you feel bad for them or you feel sorrow. That's not exactly it. You're talking about guilt there. That's something else. If my neighbor's father dies, okay, maybe I feel sympathy for them. I didn't kill her father, okay? I feel sympathetic towards this situation. That's fine. I feel empathetic because my father died a few years ago. I can feel empathy because I know exactly how she feels. So we usually use sympathy to mean, oh, I sympathize with their situation. I've never experienced it, but I can mentally imagine it. I can empathize with your situation because I have had exactly the same experience and I intimately know the emotions involved. I've had these same emotions myself. That's kind of the idea. Sympathy is more mental. You can feel bad for somebody in a mental way. You imagine how they feel. Empathy means you actually feel it yourself, or you have felt it yourself because you've had that experience. Okay. Anyway, let's move on. Number 5. Number 5, Min.
She handled the situation very well. She showed great sensibility.
Okay. This particular adjective, all right, this comes from what we can call a word family. A word family that all stems from the word sense. Some word families are very small. There's only maybe a noun and a verb form. Some, like the word family for the word sense, is really enormous. Sensible, sensitive, sensitively, nonsense, insensitive, sense, sensory. There's just really dozens and dozens and dozens of possible words. So, Min, you're stuck with probably the hardest one here. Because there are, I don't know, half a dozen nouns that you could come up with here. But you want the one that has most to do with the meaning of sensitive. Sensitive meaning understanding other people's feelings. So your answer was not quite right. What did you say? Sensibility?
Yeah, sensibility.
Well, that has to do with being sensible. That's the noun form of sensible, meaning logical and having common sense. Common sense. There's another one. Sensible is one thing, having a good thought process. Sensitive means being aware of others' emotions. So it's different. Different noun. Any ideas? Or no? Anybody else have an idea for this one? Okay, nobody? All right. Here it is.
Sensitivity.
There it is. Sensitivity. Sensitivity. Okay, adding I-T-Y. Okay. Okay, I-T-Y, another one that often indicates a noun, another suffix that indicates a noun. So that's probably the hardest one in the bunch because that is one enormous word family here. There are so many words that have this same base or root word sense. So many, really. Okay, Salwa, number 6.
You have been such a great help. I'd like to buy you dinner as an expression of my gratefulness.
Gratefulness.
Or my
well,
great.
Almost. Almost. It doesn't quite fit, though.
We add suffix, prefix.
No prefix. Definitely, you're going to change the suffix from full to something else. You're not adding a suffix. You're removing FUL and adding something else. Any guesses? Yeah, I told you this would be challenging.
Creativity.
Yeah, okay. I like your thinking. I really do. I like the fact that you're trying other noun suffixes. I actually like that a lot. All right, but I'll give you the answer. Gratitude is the answer. Gratitude. So, tude. Changing it to T-U-D-E suffix. Gratitude. Okay. Well, that's it. I like your thinking, though, and I will tell you guys that when I do work on suffixes with students, I very frequently discover new words myself that I did not know could be joined with a certain suffix, and even I didn't really realize that was a word. It happens to me all the time as I'm teaching. Whenever I teach suffixes, I find new words, new combinations of root words and suffixes I had no idea were valid English words. So I like the fact that Saul was trying to explore, create a word, because all the time you might discover new words that way. Cristiano, number 7.
Yeah, I do wish those children would show a little more patience sometimes.
That's it. Patience is the noun form of patient. Wow, it's a lot. Okay. We're out of time, but let's see if we can zip through a couple more. Jorge Luis, number 8.
He just told me to shut up and walk off. I never know such. Ooh.
Maybe.
I no have idea what is the word.
No? Anybody? Think about another suffix that we've added before. There it is.
Rudeness?
Rudeness. That's it. Rudeness. Again, with the ness ending. Rudeness. Yes. Excellent. Number 9, Keiko. Keiko? Okay.
Okay, teacher. You don't like him because of his accent. You could show a bit more tolerance sometimes.
All right. Tolerance is the answer. Okay, last one. I gotta go because I'm already late. I think one day we might doubt the wisdom of his decision. Is the last one. Wisdom. Okay. Hope you guys learned some valuable vocabulary and maybe a little bit about suffixes. I thank you all. Thank you very much. And I'll see you again soon here on Verbling.